Hey Bangers, Pato here from Metal Ignition, and today we have Adrian here from Northlane.
Hey.
So we're on tour at the moment. We've just come back from Canada, a big overseas trip for you guys. How was all that?
That's right. It was a series of, I think, 19 shows. We ended up adding an extra show onto the tour, so it ended up being 20. It was a real fun time. Canada's a beautiful country.
Yep.
Kind of reminds me of Australia, except it's a bit of a different landscape. But it was a blast. I love that country. We'll definitely be going back for sure.
Yeah, sweet. So you guys been there twice already, haven't you? Or
Yep. That was our second time there, and we were excited to go back.
Yep. Were the shows more filled out second time around since the new album release and everything, or?
Well, yes. We toured with a Canadian band called Structures, and
Yep.
they're quite popular in their home country.
Sure.
So it was an awesome tour to be a part of and support. And the turnouts were amazing. Some of the shows were sold out, and
Sure.
they were a really lively bunch of kids there.
Cool. So talking about the new album Singularity, obviously that's gotten you guys basically blown up on the scene since that's come out as well.
Yeah.
Very popular beforehand with Discovery's album as well. So you guys were pretty happy with how everything's gone with the new album release.
Yep. Very happy. I'm really happy more than anything that it's been reaching a lot of people.
Yep.
Because we do have a certain message that we're pushing and a certain sound, and I'm just really glad that it's reaching a lot of hearts and a lot of minds out there.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So I wanted to talk to you about one of the standout songs on the album, which I think is, if you listen to the album, a lot of it's straight songs, but then there's this one song called Dream Awake. Can you tell me what's up with that song?
Yeah, okay, well, it's a little complicated, but Dream Awake is pretty much about like paradox and like opposites.
Yep.
As in like yin yang, day and night, good and evil, right and wrong.
Yeah.
We experience these things throughout our whole life, and it's so easy to get caught up in one or the other, rather than just viewing it as two sides to the same coin, really, and which is life.
Yep.
You have to take the good with the bad, and that's why I chose the name Dream Awake, because dream is something you do while you're asleep, not while you're awake. And that's the way I try and view life. We're never really asleep and we're never really awake. We're always alive. And that's why we're still, even in Northlane's career, in my life, I can't help but feel that life is just some sort of beautiful dream that we experience while we're awake. And at the same time, going with the whole, opposites and paradox side of things, even though it is beautiful, at times, I know myself included, we can create a nightmare for ourselves instead of creating a dream. And that's what really I'm calling out for in this song, is for people to, and myself of course, to wake up to the realization that we're part of a beautiful dream and we are the dream, essentially.
Yeah, very cool. So last time we spoke, you pointed out that John was a sole driver of a lot of the songwriting.
Yep.
Was that the case the same time around for Singularity, or?
Definitely. I mean, Nick, our drummer, does elaborate on the drums.
Yep.
John tends to write the framework for the drumming.
Yeah.
And then Nick elaborates and adds his flavor and his creativity to it.
Yep.
And it was a similar methodology, except I know this time around, John wasn't writing in Guitar Pro, which is like a guitar tablature program.
Yeah.
He's been writing straight into Pro Tools, and tracking songs and writing them simultaneously.
Yep.
Which I feel has added more of a custom-made, almost more natural sounding songs that are a bit more human rather than mechanistic and robotic.
Expanding further on that as well, you can really hear the band has come together quite well with the new songs and on the new album, like when it comes to lead guitar riffs, say in Scarabs, or standout bass parts even in World Eater as well.
Yeah.
So it really seems like you guys found your place on this album.
Well, yeah, I really think Singularity is, as we mature as individuals, it only makes sense that our music would mature as well.
Yeah.
And our taste in music and our taste in art in general, and I think it's clearly reflected in the music, for sure.
Yeah. So was there anything different apart from John doing the stuff on Guitar Pro? when it came to the writing process than what you guys did on Discoveries?
Well, I'll let you know a bit about what the process of the album was actually like. It was quite hectic, actually. We originally booked our Canadian tour, our first Canadian tour, and it costs a lot of. We knew we wanted to record overseas, and it costs a lot of money to not only to record but to fly overseas to record the album. So we thought we would nail two birds with one stone, finish the Canadian tour, and then go straight into the studio in New Jersey with William Putney.
Yep.
And
while it was all hush hush as well.
While it was all hush hush, and we found that out about 2 months before we left for Canada, and we had about 3 songs written at the time.
All right. Yep.
So naturally, John and all the boys were feeling a bit of pressure.
Yep.
When you hear you have 2 months to finish an album, it's not exactly, it's not exactly pleasurable. You're under a bit of, no one likes a deadline,
Yep.
especially when it comes to art and things like that. But remarkably, John was able to smash out songs. We ended up going on the tour, and John was writing on the tour with Nick when we had days off and whatnot.
Yep.
And we actually ended up entering the studio still with 2 or 3 songs to finish. I think 3 songs.
Yep.
And somehow John managed to write 3 songs in 3 days. And
good work, John.
and I take my hat off to my boys because they showed tremendous amounts of effort and musicianship under extreme amounts of pressure. I think in hindsight I look at this as a positive thing because nature in general and organisms and animals, when they're under pressure, they're forced to adapt and evolve, and it usually makes them stronger in the process.
Yep.
And I think that's just the way nature works, and I think it's cool, and it really helped birth the album that we released.
Cool. So what are your thoughts on as far as you guys being on the forefront now, as far as inspiration for bands musically and lyrically?
Well, what for me personally, or for the band as a whole? Both.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of influences. Back in the day, it used to be more For the Fallen Dreams, Architects, Linkin Park, what have you. I guess Periphery.
Yep.
There's a lot of bands that influence us these days, and also these days, even though it's hard to say, but there's a lot of bands that influence us. Under Oath, Saison.
Yep.
A lot of the classic great bands that pioneered, their sound in their respective genres. And these days, for me, more I've listened to Deftones for most of my life, and they've always had an influence on me personally.
Yep.
But a band that, for some reason, not a lot of people know is a band called Cynic, and they're like sort of a metal fusion band from the States, and they're easily my favorite band. They're very underrated. Check them out, Cynic. Make sure you check them out because I believe they're doing something very unique. I draw a lot of inspiration and vision from that band, and they really inspire me. They really do inspire me, especially their lead singer and guitarist Paul Masvidal, who writes all the stuff. Check them out for sure.
So the lyrics on Singularity obviously are a main drive of the album, I think, and it is a sole point for how it's been so popular as well. Did you think that you were going to get such a positive response with a lot of the stuff that you were writing?
I hope so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of with the past years that just went past, there was a lot of talk of 2012, new age, shift of the ages,
Yeah.
And I'll admit I'm very interested in things like that. And not only that, but ancient history, and alternative ways of thinking. I'm very interested in future and technology and things like that. And I feel that our album Singularity addresses a lot of important issues about life and as existentialism and just relevant things for our time and our generation. And I think that's maybe why what you said happened, and it helped the the progress of the band and the album, because I think there was a lot in this album that needed to be said and people needed to hear and wanted to hear from a band, but not many people, if any, were doing it, you know. So I do, for lack of a better word, felt a little bit of a sense of duty in order to, you know, spread a good, positive, enlightening message.
It's been a busy year for you guys, obviously, with the tour, then straight into the recording studio. You did the video as well, out of nowhere as well. So you guys have been doing the the hush hush stuff, which we even spoke about at the beginning of the year, and you did pretty well to hide that from me too. So what's in store for the rest of the year? Have you guys got another project you're working on now for maybe another video you might be able to talk about? Or
you said it. We do want to drop a new video clip this year.
Yep.
I'm not going to say much more besides that, but because we really don't know the approach we're going to take. All we know is that we're going to do a new video clip.
Sure.
We don't know who we're going to go with. We don't know what format it's going to take. But other than that, we're planning to see a lot more of the rest of the world as well. We're going to Europe for the Never Say Die tour, the Impericon Fest, and I think we're going to be doing a little bit of regional touring this year. Hopefully visit maybe Asia and North America again, hopefully as well, if all things go to plan.
We're Northlane and you're watching Metal Ignition.